So if you close the door slowly, I'll open the door and then do my introduction.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Oh, hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Ned from Rad Dad Builds. So in this video, I wanted to show you exactly how I transformed an old, outdated pocket door into a new, modern, timeless pocket door. And I gotta say, it turned out rad, so you're gonna want to stick around for this one. And as always, roll that intro. Yo, what's up everyone? So yeah, in this video I wanted to show you how I transformed my extremely outdated pocket door into something more timeless and modern. And I'm really happy how this video turned out, so stay tuned. To start off this project, I had to remove the old crappy pocket door, and to do so I had to take out all the old doorstop and the old trim. I scored a line with my sharp knife where the trim meets the wall. This way when I remove the trim, it doesn't peel half the wall with it. I then removed all the old doorstop as well. I loosened off all the nuts on the sliding track hardware, using a flat wrench. I then wiggled the door until it came off the hardware. Because I wanted to keep the actual original frame for the pocket door, I began by sanding down all the layers of paint and removing any excess caulk that was left behind from the trim. In an attempt to keep the weight down on this pocket door, for the most part, I used a sheet of 3/4 inch white oak veneered plywood. The final dimensions of this door are 80 inches by 30 inches, which is standard height and width. But because I didn't want to fix the track hardware straight into the plywood core, I cut the new door at 79 inches in height. This allows me to add an inch or so of solid material on top for a more secure fixing. I cut the width of the door at 29.5 inches. This way I can add 1/4 inch either side of solid material to hide that plywood core. Out of a piece of solid white oak, I ripped 2 strips at just a little bit bigger than 1/4 inch. I then ripped those 2 strips to 3/4 inch, which is the thickness of the plywood that I'm using. I cut those 2 strips to the length of 79 inches. I then sanded them to 180 grit in my drum sander. To attach the solid white oak strips to the plywood core, I used standard wood glue and my micro pinner. I pinned the strips all the way down the door with my micro pinner, and then for a bit of extra support while the glue dries, I just taped it a whole bunch. I repeated these steps on both sides. Using a couple of scrap pieces of wood, I clamped the strips and let it sit for a couple of hours. While that was drying, I began by cutting the solid piece of wood that will sit on top of the door. I cut a piece of solid white oak at 30 inches in length, then I ripped it down to 1.25 inches by 1.5 inches. I then cut out a 3/4 inch by a 1/2 inch rabbet down the whole length. This will be attached to the top of the door, bringing it to its full height and its full thickness. I sanded all faces to 180 grit in my drum sander. I then glued and clamped it to the top of the door. For a bit of added extra strength, I pre-drilled and screwed through the solid piece of wood into the plywood core. While I allowed that to dry, I broke down a few lengths of solid white oak. I then cut those lengths into even thinner lengths. I cut them to 1 inch by 1/2 inch strips. To keep the flow of the grain on the front of the door, I stacked them into which order they were cut. I then began the most boring job of all, sanding them. I sanded each piece all the way up to 180 grit in my drum sander, and it took a long ass time. After what felt like was forever, I double checked the order of each piece and then put them all to one side. I then took the door out of the clamps and then began, you guessed it, more sanding. I scraped and sanded everything flat and flush to 180 grit. I then began the job of attaching the strips to the door. For this, I used wood glue and my micro pinner. I started off by gluing and pinning the first strip flush with the outside edge of the door, because this is the side of the door that gets seen the most. Maintaining the order of which the strips were cut, I glued and pinned each strip with a 1/2 inch gap in between. I made sure not to use too much glue and clean out any excess as I went along. I then flipped the door over, clamping it down to my flat bench. The next day, I mixed up some white oak wood filler with some white oak sawdust, and then filled any of the pinholes and any of the gaps that may be seen. And as it turns out, I got a little bit carried away with the micro pinner, but that's okay. I love sanding, so yeah. Once that was dried, I gave everything a good sand to 220 grit. cleaned up any excess filler with my knife. I then cut off the overhang of the solid strips. I sanded all the pieces that I couldn't get to with a sander by hand, and broke away any of the sharp edges. Now it's time to put a coat of finish on the door. For this, I'm using Osmo Oil Poly-X. I started off on the back of the door, spreading the oil around with a plastic spreader. I then began by spreading it around and buffing it in by hand with a white pad. I then buffed it dry using my polished sander. I cleaned up any smears or excess with a blue shop towel and then flipped the door over. To get the oil in all the little grooves, I used a 1-inch foam brush. Using the same techniques as before, I buffed in the oil on the face of the door. Using a white pad, I made sure I got a consistent coverage in the grooves. I then cleaned off any excess with a blue shop towel. I repeated these steps twice, allowing 8 hours to dry in between. On the side of the door that had no grooves, it needed a handle, so I found this one on Amazon, which I'll link in the description below. I made a mark 48 inches from the underside of the door. And then using a hole saw, I cut a hole just slightly wider and slightly deeper than the handle itself. I then cleaned out the hole using my plunge router. Once I was happy with the hole, I screwed the handle into place. I then attached the original pocket door hardware to the top of the door. I attached the door to the hardware basically the same way I took it off. Just wiggle it around and grunting and groaning. Once I got the door onto the brackets, I adjusted the height using my wrench, and then locked it down into its final position. it is beautiful. The door, I mean, obviously. But it's not finished yet, so don't go anywhere. Because the old trim was outdated and the doorstop had like 15 layers of paint on it, I decided to make some more new ones. I ripped down some primed MDF to 1" by 1/2" strips. Off camera, I attached the new trim and then began to start attaching the new doorstop. You want to make sure you have about 1/8 inch gap between the door and the doorstop. This is so you don't get any binding or rubbing. I cut in a new pocket door pull which I picked up from Amazon. I will link this in the description down below as well. I gave the trim and doorstop a fresh coat of paint and this job was finished. I am so stoked on this. It turned out way better than I ever imagined. Such a huge improvement from that crappy old door that was there before. So I just want to say thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you have any comments, please don't hesitate to ask me down below. If you want to go and see some more day-to-day stuff, go follow @RadDadBuilds on Instagram. And as always, stay rad. Peace.